The question I want to ask for people that haven't done any contact tango or a little bit, I'm curious as such accomplished longtime dancers, what it feels like in your bodies when you do contact tango, about bringing these two forms together.
Ah, qué pregunta sutil. ¿Cómo lo siento en el cuerpo? Yo siento mucha libertad porque puedo combinar los lenguajes, sea escuchando la música, el lenguaje del tango y también ir al suelo y usar el peso sobre la otra persona, como que me da
The
mucha
language,
libertad
language
la
of the
posibilidad.
music and the language of going in and out of the floor, which is contact like, and me necesitas hacer frases más cortas si quieres a traducción literal.
Perdón, perdón.
I think
Decía
maybe
que siento
like liberated, feeling liberated and combining these two languages together in your body.
yes, feeling liberated, like using, because you can choose if you go more tango, more contact. So you can choose if you want to go to the floors, if you're tired to be standing, and you can go to the floor. You can play with the other. You can throw your weight, and then you can come back to this embrace, the tango embrace, which is a special, el abrazo. ¿Cómo se dice, Daniel? Abrazo, embrace.
The embrace.
Embrace. The embrace is the most important in tango, no? How you, and you can unmade the embrace and then coming back to it.
Mm.
So you have always this possibility. And to playing with the feet, also a special work with the feet. And I remembered we've been working with Danny years ago, especially how to use your feet in tango, not only in contact, not only the center, always the center, it's a main subject, but how you begin with the arms or with the hands or with the feet, a dance, so we can combine with this. And yes, lots of play, mucho juego, lots of playing with the feet. And I don't know, but I suppose the people who's coming to our workshop doesn't have to dance or to know how to dance tango nor contact.
Mhm.
So it can be for beginners also, because we are going to give scores, basic scores, contact and tango basis rooted, so they can combine and they have a common language to play. So it's not for only for professionals who are really involved in contact tango or contact or tango, no?
So
Yes.
I'm gonna answer your question in a slightly different way. One thing I forgot to mention in my biography, which is quite important because I consider her to be one of my main dance teachers, and that's Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen. And I have a long-term history working with BMC. And
You understand what
this
DMT is for those that don't know?
body mind centering, which is this wonderful work, which is about how ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny, and that is looking at the patterns of development from fetus to adult as a repetition of the evolutionary patterns from single-celled creatures all the way up to mammals and humans. One of the things that's come out of my work in BMC is, and the fact that I'm a dancer and most of my practice is in contact improvisation and in tango, this concept of shared proprioception. Now, proprioception is what in reality is the sixth sense. A lot of people, when they hear the term sixth sense, they think about telepathy or some esoteric sense. If there is telepathy, it's the seventh sense and not the sixth one, because the sixth one actually has a whole part of your brain that's dedicated to it, and it's the way that you sense the interior space in your body. So touch is the way that you sense your body's connection with the outside world, but proprioception is the way you connect your body's perception with the inside world. And my theory, having been teaching this for 40 years, is that when we connect with one another physically, and this is not touch, if I lay my hands on you, it doesn't happen. But when we connect with one another, when we share weight, when we connect in a tango embrace, we actually are able to extend the proprioception coming from one's own brain into the body of the person. So you're able to use your proprioceptive sense to measure the space inside the other person's body. And this is something that comes into play in any good duet dance. So if you are a contact dancer, or if you are a ballet dancer, or if you are a salsa dancer, or if you're a swing dancer or a tango dancer, good practice in all of these forms involves the ability to extend your perceptual sense into the container of the other person's body, so that then the external part of the duet, that is both bodies together, is available to this inner sensation that comes out of either person's brain. And so for me, most of what we work on, regardless of whether we call it contact improvisation or whether we call it tango or whether we call it some other dance, most of what we work on is how to facilitate a deeper level of connection where we actually get to feel inside of the other person's body. That allows for creatively making art together, making shapes together, making musical gestures together, interpreting the music together. But it also is at the essence of playing safe. It's at the essence of taking care of each other. So good, healthy improvisational dancing is where you're able to get very creative with what you make happen on the dance floor, but you also survive the experience without hurting each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the essence of any good class, is to try and combine the information that people need to be able to benefit from connection, and then also to be able to play safe through connection.
Of course, this is the most important. Of course, pressure and safety. Safety most of all.
I'm just realizing, I think for me, for the first time, I'm realizing about these two forms, what they complement each other with is you have tango, which generally, you're kind of staying at a horizontal plane, but you had contact and you had the vertical, right, in terms of lifting and working with the floor. So you actually open up this double axis of possibility in space, and depending which form you're foregrounding. And then I think it's almost like with the tango, you bring some form and structure to contact improv, which you keep returning to the balanceo, to the embrace. You can keep.
It's also interesting, in my experience, it's interesting to note what creates fear in the part of each of these dance forms towards the other dance form. So that verticality and going in and out of the floor and turning your back on your partner and changing the positions of the bodies is terrifying to tango dancers. Right. Tango dancers enjoy the safety and the comfort of the embrace where you know where your partner is. Yeah. And contrawise, in my experience, contact dancers are terrified by the tango dancer's ability to stay in one point of connection for 15 minutes at a time, and to do an entire choreography or an entire improvisational scored structure based on kind of known habitual movements, but in an embrace that never leaves. Even the swing dancers and the salsa dancers find the Argentine variety of dancing to be very challenging, because in swing dancing and in salsa dancing, you open and close the form. But in tango dancing, at least traditional Argentine tango dancing, the entire form is done chest to chest in a hug, essentially, that never releases.